If you saw it, you've got to think the Biden people are beginning to regret picking Kamala Harris for the ticket. Maybe on paper, Harris made sense as the old guy's running mate. Apparently she did. But on stage, not appealing, to put it mildly. Unless you enjoyed being lectured in school by substitute teachers who tried to mask their insecurity with aggression, you probably don't want 4 more years of that. Even 90 minutes of it was hard to take. The good news is we did learn at least one important new thing from watching. We learned how Democrats plan to use identity politics going forward. We already knew that identity politics is an effective, maybe the most effective way to get Democrats to the polls in an election year. That's why they do it. What we learned last night is that identity politics has a bigger purpose. It is the justification that Democrats will use to tear down our centuries-old system of government and replace it with one-party rule with themselves in charge. The evidence came toward the end of last night's debate when Mike Pence asked Harris what the moderator didn't ask but should have. Does she and Biden plan to pack the Supreme Court of the United States? Does the Biden administration intend to convert our third branch of government into a partisan super legislature with lifetime tenure? It's a pretty simple question. It's a vital question. Political courts are the hallmark of banana republics and dictatorships. We don't want. Yet for weeks, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have refused to say what they will do if elected. So last night, Pence pushed again. Here's what happened.
Are you and Joe Biden, if somehow you win this election, going to pack the Supreme Court to get your way?
Joe and I are very clear. The American people are voting right now, and it should be their decision about who will serve on this most important body for a lifetime.
Thank you.
Kidnapped the governor of Michigan foiled by the FBI. Today, the FBI charging 6 men in the conspiracy.
The FBI began an investigation earlier this year after becoming aware that through social media that a group of individuals was discussing the...
A months-long investigation alleges the men met on June 6 with several others and discussed taking a sitting governor before one of them reached out to a Michigan-based anti-government group. He needed 200 men to storm the Capitol building before the November 2020 presidential election. Officials say Fox and others met again on June 20th to discuss plans for assaulting the state capitol, planning for firearms and tactical training in July.
Waste my time on a virtual debate. That's not what debating's all about. You sit behind a computer and do a debate. It's ridiculous. And then they cut you off whenever they want.
For his health, his recovery, his family. 34 people in the White House infected by this, and still not an acceptance of what needs to be done. I think that the public needs to know the health condition of the president. There's one question that they refuse to answer. His last negative test. When was his last negative test? To make a judgment about the actions that were taken after that. Members of the press ask the question, it gets deflected. But it is a very important question for our country, because now the president is saying that he probably got this from the Gold Star families. Can you believe that he would say such a thing? He probably got this from the Gold Star families. So let us see a date, a time, when you last tested negative before you admitted to this virus.